Members, if I may address you briefly, in a moment we'll welcome our friends from the Senate and we'll hear from our governor. As we gather here today, the first day of this legislative session, we begin where Florida often has found itself over the last decade, and that's at the forefront of all the major issues that our nation confronts. We're faced with challenges that have to be confronted and resolved. In the long term, we cannot regulate nor legislate our way to a more stable and affordable property insurance market. The only way to bring lower rates is to make hurricanes less expensive. So I hope that we will invest in the science and in the practice of mitigation. Runaway property taxes threaten the standard of living of millions and millions of Floridians, of homeowners and renters, and it threatens the bottom lines of businesses big and small. We must pass meaningful, comprehensive, and immediate tax relief this session. But along with all our challenges, we are also met with extraordinary opportunities. The opportunity to design a world-class system of education available to all of our children, regardless of where they start out in life. To accomplish this, I urge you to consider three things. The first is doing away with the Sunshine State standards and replacing them with a world-class curriculum comparable to those of the leading education systems in the whole world. Second is to make it the central mission of our education system to ensure that all of our children graduate high school and either be college-bound or nationally certified in a career. And the third thing I hope we will do is recognize that we must hold all our children to the highest standards and the same expectations, but that some kids will need more help than others to meet those standards. If a child is raised in an unstable home, they have one strike against them. If they also live in a dangerous neighborhood, they have two strikes against them. And if they have no access to health care, that child has three strikes against them. That child will arrive at the first day in school already behind. And it doesn't matter how good their curriculum is, or how small their class size is, or how much their teacher makes. A child with three strikes against them is going to struggle to learn and progress unless you address those three strikes. Addressing those three strikes for us is not an option. It is an obligation. You see, the nations we compete against, they don't even try. They do not even try to teach kids in those circumstances. But the fact that we do is what sets us apart from the rest of the world. It is the one thing that makes America special. And without it, we are nothing more than another rich country. And so the opportunity before us, before each of you, is to do something no nation and no people have ever done before, to create a world-class system of education and preparation available to all our people, irrespective of where they start out in life. Another opportunity before us is to serve as an international model for energy efficiency and independence. On the issue of energy, global warming, dependence on foreign sources of fuel, and capitalism have come together to create opportunities for us that were unimaginable just a few short years ago. Today, Florida has the opportunity to pursue bold energy policies, not just because they're good for our economy, for our environment, but because people can actually make money at doing it. This nation, and ultimately the world, is headed towards emission caps and energy diversification. Those changes will require technological advances that make those measures cost-effective. The demand towards such advances will create an industry to meet it. Florida should become the Silicon Valley of that industry. Throughout the last few months, even throughout today, you will hear calls for bipartisanship. But bipartisanship is one of the most abused and misunderstood terms in all of politics. Bipartisanship does not mean getting along for the sake of getting along. And it does not mean abandoning your principles just so that you fit in with the majority. True legislative bipartisanship, the kind that those who designed this system of government envisioned, the kind our people deserve, is one where both parties share a common vision of the future, and they spend all their time and energy debating on how to bring that into reality. And that is what I hope the culture of the Florida House will be, a place where both parties agree on where we want to go, and spend all our time and energy debating on the best way to get there. And so today I ask us here, among us, let us agree to adopt a simple and unwritten rule. We will not criticize someone else's ideas unless we are prepared to offer an alternative idea of our own. That alternative idea can be a new idea. It can be a way to improve the idea that's been offered, or it can be a defense of the status quo. But for too long, politics has been about scoring political points rather than solving problems. By adopting and adhering to this one simple rule, our work here will become about problem solving. On the most important challenge facing our state, property taxes, that is exactly what I hope will happen. I congratulate the members of the majority party, and in particular Speaker-designate Ray Sansom, for proposing the boldest and most sweeping tax initiative in Florida's history. And I congratulate the members of the minority party for responding, not with a press release, but with a plan of their own. On property taxes, Republicans and Democrats share a common vision. We all agree that they're too high. Now let us spend the next 60 days debating on what is the best way to make them lower. Recent events remind us that our time on this earth is limited, and our time in this process even more so. For a brief period of time, you and I are entrusted with the extraordinary power to impact the real lives of real people. Here we will solve with laws and with dollars what too many people around the world must still solve through violence and civil war. Today marks the beginning of my 8th session in the Florida legislature. As I look back at the 7 before, I clearly recall that our best days were those spent on bold policy and big ideas, and our worst days were those spent on virtually anything else. To tackle the big and relevant issues of the day with bold and innovative ideas is without question the most rewarding way to serve. What will it take to confront and solve the big problems of our time? What will it take to fully capitalize on the opportunities before us? It will take what it has always taken: leadership. We live in a society obsessed with public opinion. But leadership has never been about popularity. Leadership cannot be measured in a poll or even in the results of an election. It can only truly be seen through the benefit of time, from the perspective of 20 years, not 20 days. If we are to truly lead, then we must allow history, not tomorrow's newspapers, to be the ultimate judge of our work. We must aspire to always be on the right side, even if it isn't the winning side. Do not be afraid to offer ideas that draw opposition. Remember, if no one's against your idea probably doesn't do anything. As I close, let me share one more observation. Over the years, I have noticed that this process is made up of two kinds of people: those who are here to be someone, and those who are here to do something. Ironically, only the ones who came here to do something ever became someone. So as we begin our work, let us aspire to confront and solve the big problems of our time. Let us endeavor to seize upon the unique opportunities before our state. Let us establish a culture of ideas, a place where everyone agrees on what we need to do, and then spend all their time and energy debating on what is the best way to do it. And above all else, let us aspire to lead. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Thank you.